Well. The Lakers may have found a new player who can help the rotation. Say what you want about JJ Redick, but if a player performs well for his team, whether he is on a two-way contract, a 10-day deal, or is the 13th or 14th man on the 15-man roster, Redick is willing to give him another chance. That is exactly what he is doing with Drew Timme. Timme is currently on a two-way contract with the Lakers, and before the stretch, he mostly played garbage time. He had appeared in 6 games, all of them during garbage minutes. But after his 21-point breakout on Saturday night, the first game of a back-to-back loss against Portland, where he finished with 21 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and made 3 three-pointers, he earned another chance. He played again in the second game of the back-to-back, even though the team was fairly healthy with Luka Doncic and LeBron James back, along with Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Jordan, and Jackson Hayes all available. Still, Drew Timme found his way into the rotation and made an impact again. It was not another 21-point night, as he scored just 3 points on 1 for 4 shooting, including 1 for 2 from beyond the arc, but he also added 3 rebounds and 2 assists. But I actually think he looked pretty solid. In fact, he was part of what might have been the Lakers' best lineup of the entire game. That lineup came in the second quarter and featured LeBron James, Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, Drew Timme, and DeAndre Ayton, with Ayton playing the 5 and Timme at the 4. Believe it or not, that group went on a 14-4 run in just 3.5 minutes to start the second quarter. On top of that, they surprisingly held up well on both ends of the floor. Even with Drew Timme at the 4, where he is not the most mobile player and clearly not an elite defender, he still held his own. Ayton also looked comfortable at center next to Timme, despite the two not having much time playing together. This is especially interesting since the Lakers have not used many two-big lineups this season and do not really have a roster built for it. Still, this 5-man group worked better than expected. I would not be surprised if we see some version of this lineup again soon, maybe even as early as the next game. With that in mind, let's take a closer look at Drew Timme and what he has shown so far. Over the last 2 games, Drew Timme has managed to earn minutes in the rotation despite his limited athleticism, despite being an average defender, and despite having a very traditional, almost old-school offensive style. His game honestly feels more suited for the NBA of the 1980s or 1990s than the modern 2020s league. Still, we are going to talk about his unique and slowly disappearing skill set, why it can still help the Lakers in certain matchups, and how he may have played his way into a more permanent rotation role if he keeps this up. We are going to break all of that down here. To start, for anyone who does not know who Drew Timme is or where he comes from, he was a 2023 undrafted player out of Gonzaga University. Coming into the NBA, he was viewed as an old-fashioned player, which is a big reason why he went undrafted. He is not a hybrid athletic 4 of 5 who can space the floor, switch on defense, or finish as a lob threat. Instead, he is a throwback, low-post big who can score around the rim, operate from the high post, and create shots for himself or his teammates. He is also somewhat undersized at about 6'9" and 235 pounds, with a near 7'1" to 7 feet 2 inches wingspan, weighing roughly 235 pounds. At around 235 to 240 pounds, he can sometimes play center, but he is more of a power forward depending on the matchup. Like I mentioned earlier, he played minutes at both the 4 and the 5 over the past 2 games. Against Portland, it was mostly out of necessity that he played center, since DeAndre Ayton and Jackson Hayes were unavailable, leaving only Drew Timme and Maxi Kleber as bigs. Timme ended up being the more productive of the two. It was not a bad game from Kleber, but it clearly did not compare to Timme's 21-point, 4-assist performance, especially when you add in the 3 made three-pointers. In my opinion, that part of his game is the most interesting. He did not show much 3-point shooting in college, which would have helped his draft stock a lot. Aside from the occasional 3 or long mid-range jumper, he was not someone who spaced the floor, either from deep or above the rim. If he had shown more of that ability, he likely would have been drafted. He already had strong low-post scoring, solid playmaking from the high post, and a reputation as a high IQ player, but those skills did not fully translate to the modern NBA. Even so, despite his limitations, despite his limited athleticism by NBA standards and his defensive issues, both at the rim and on the perimeter, Drew Timme still has a possible path forward. If he truly develops a reliable three-point shot and can stay at least an above-average shooter, especially as a hybrid 4/5, then there is clearly a place for him in the NBA. He has already shown that he can score at this level. Last season with the Brooklyn Nets, even though it was only a 9-game stretch, he averaged over 12 points per game, grabbed more than 7 rebounds per game, handed out over 2 assists while keeping his turnovers under 2 per game, shot a solid 44% from the field, and hit a few threes at a 25.7% rate. That number is not great, but it still showed he could score in the NBA, be productive offensively, and contribute as a rebounder and passer. That said, most people did not truly believe in Drew Timme's three-point shot at the time. This season, however, he has already shown improvement, knocking down 4 three-pointers in just 2 games with the Lakers, which are the only 2 games where he has played real rotation minutes. He made 3 threes against Portland and added another one last night against the Toronto Raptors. A couple of those shots were not easy either, including a tough 3 he hit against Portland, for example. A good example came on the fast break, with Rui Hachimura pushing the ball up the floor and finding Drew Timme drifting to the corner. Timme caught it, did not fully set his feet or square his body, had a defender closing out hard, and still let it fly and knocked it down. That is pretty impressive for a hybrid 4/5, and honestly impressive for a big man in general. That is a tough shot and not an easy one to make. It really showed off his shooting touch and his long-term upside. Now, Timme does have other parts of his game worth talking about, like his low-post scoring, his ability to pass out of the post, and his overall feel and vision. But the three-point shot is the most important thing for him, and it cannot be overstated. In my opinion, that is the clearest path to consistent playing time, especially if he is going to share the floor with Deandre Ayton or Jackson Hayes as the other big. He showed exactly why last night when he earned minutes in the second quarter, especially after Luka Doncic checked into the game, which made that spacing even more important. On the first play with Ayton and Doncic together, Luka threw a lob to Ayton, who was spacing the floor vertically and pulling the defense with him. On the very next trip down the floor, the defense had to respect that inside threat, which opened things up and showed why Timme's shooting matters so much in these lineups. The defense dropped deep into coverage, sending a double team at Luka Doncic while also fronting DeAndre Ayton with Ochai Agbaji, and even Timme's defender slid over to help. That left Drew Timme completely wide open. Luka found him for a 3, and Timme made the defense pay. That shot showed teams cannot just ignore him, double Luka, and take away Ayton as a lob threat at the same time. They have to respect Timme too, and he proved it by knocking down the three-pointer off the assist from Luka Doncic. If he can keep doing that and grow into a real shooting threat that defenses actually have to guard, he will stay in the rotation. Having a vertical threat like Ayton or Jackson Hayes on the floor with Timme spacing out to the three-point line, whether at the top, the wing, or the corner, could seriously help the Lakers' offense. That is something they honestly do not have right now. It is something they hope to get from Maxi Kleber, but he has not been shooting the ball well and has not really been much of a threat. On top of that, he has not given them the same kind of offensive impact. Kleber has also been in and out of the lineup with injuries all season. Drew Timme, on the other hand, has been a bit more reliable so far. Whether it is as a three-point shooter, a low-post scoring option, or simply a steady offensive presence, he gives the Lakers something interesting to work with. At this point in his NBA career, Timme looks like a legitimate option for the rotation moving forward, giving JJ Redick another look to play with. Instead of only going small or using just one big on the floor, Timme allows them to experiment with a true two-big lineup. He is not the biggest player out there, but he can score in the post, rebound well, and play physically even if his defense is still a weakness. It is an interesting option, and one that Redick clearly seems willing to explore going forward. Now, to be clear, this is not some foolproof lineup. It is not going to work against every team, every matchup, or every defensive scheme. But there is real potential here. It already showed some promise against a very athletic Toronto team that can switch, push the pace, and get up and down the floor. If it can work against a team like that, it could work against quite a few others as well. It might not work against elite teams, ultra-switchable defenses, or top-tier opponents like OKC, but I think it could be effective against more teams than we might expect. At the very least, I'm interested to see the Lakers try this lineup in future games. That said, we are only talking about a 2-game sample, not 5, 10, or 20 games yet. Yes, Drew Timme has looked good, and I've been impressed with him on both ends of the floor. His scoring, three-point shooting, passing, and rebounding have all been solid, and his defense hasn't been bad either. But again, it's only 2 games. Hopefully, he can maintain this level, keep his three-point shooting consistent, and continue.
But the two typical centers in the rotation are back tonight. Did you have an idea that you impressed the coaches to the extent they wanted to put you into this new role tonight, where you're playing somewhere between the 3 and the 5, right, and in the zone defense? And how was that communicated to you?
Yeah, they just told me, like, be ready, and that's part of the job, whatever's asked of me, whenever, like, I just got to do it. And it was great. I'm glad that they trusted me enough to, to let me play like the 3-4 hybrid, whatever. It's pretty cool that they trust me, that much, especially since I haven't really done much for them, so it feels great.
And then I know you're out there just playing basketball, but what was your area of focus in this new type of a role, and where were you able to find your spots to contribute? Just impact the game, whether it was creating mismatches or getting someone open shot and just playing hard. I mean, obviously it'd be nice to score 20 points like the other day, but that's just not realistic. You have to be adaptable and just find a way to impact. And I feel like if I can just run the floor, play hard, and create open shots for other people, and the defense is solid, like, good things will happen, and that's all you can ask for at the end of the day.
Drew, you talk about being prepared for moments like this. You're sitting up here at a podium at a Laker game wearing a T-shirt that says "Sexual Tyrannosaurus."
I'm sorry. I'm not big into fashion.
I disagree. It looks like
you're a Predator movie reference on the helicopter. This is my fashion. I like just some tees, I guess. My bad.
No, it's great. I think sometimes for players like yourself who are really productive in college, there's like a focus on the things you can't do as a player. Have you felt that as you've tried to carve out a spot in the NBA? And do you carry that at all?
Oh yeah. I mean, in college and since I've left, it's you can't do this, you can't do that, you're not good enough for this and that, like all these things. All these things that I can't do, and I see it, and it's fuel, and at the end of the day, I'm a good player. I believe in myself and my abilities, and I believe that I can impact the game at any level, anywhere, and just carrying that belief with me, it helps push me on days where maybe I'm not as motivated, but it's great, to be able to have this opportunity and to be able to help the team. It's great.
Last one. Appreciate it if you could drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. As always, thanks for watching, and have a great day or night.